How's it going, YouTube? Right, we've got another car stereo to look at today. We're back in the camper van because, as I said in an earlier video, we're going to try a few little car stereos out in this camper. These stereos that I'm fitting, they're universal 2-din options, so they'll fit in any vehicle that's got a double din or 2-din, however you want to say it, hole for your radio to fit in. So these are quite universal systems. This vehicle in particular, this is a 2019 Peugeot Boxer. In the last video, we fitted a 10-inch system, which is quite nice because I can sit here in this chair. We've got those two chairs there, and it gives me like a screen to look at there. So if I'm watching any YouTube videos or anything else, you can see them nicely on that screen, on the 10-inch screen. I'm quite excited for the one today, actually, because in this unassuming box here, we've got one with a 13-inch screen. This is from CartechStudios. We're going to have a look at it in a second. So this will make the screen at the front even nicer, especially when I'm sat here in the camper and we want to watch any YouTube videos and stuff like that in it, because I don't want a massive TV in this camper. But obviously in your car as well, this will also give you a nice size screen to see your navigation and everything else you want to see, because we've got extra options like split screen and stuff like that, where you can multitask. We'll have a look at that once it's running. So what we'll do is we'll take this stereo here, we'll take it inside, put it on the bench, open it up, have a look, see what we get in it. We'll go through a few specs, and then like usual, I'll bring it out to the vehicle, we'll fit it in. We'll have a quick look at the fitting. I'm not going to go into massive detail because every vehicle is different, and how you fit it, whether you've got amplifiers and things like that, is all going to be different and specific to your vehicle. But we'll have a quick look at the basics, and once it's fitted, we'll power it up and we'll have a look and go through how it looks. So let's get inside and get this thing out on the bench and have a look at it, shall we? Right, so I've got this great big cardboard box here. Let's get this box on the floor. Let's pull everything out one at a time and have a look, see what you get in it. Right, we've got a section that's got lots of looms and stuff. Right, I've took everything out of the bags so we can have a quick look at what we get. This one here, I'll not take this out just yet. We'll fit this one later. This one is an optional extra. This is a tyre pressure monitoring system. We've got the receiver which plugs in to USB, and then you get 4 little transmitters there, one for each tyre, that go on your valves. We'll have a look at that one later, but this one is an optional extra. This one is a camera there which goes on your front windscreen, which is used as a dash cam or a front camera. I believe this one is an optional extra as well. This camera here, this is the usual one that you get as a reverse camera for the system, and there's a little loom that goes with it as well. GPS aerial. We've got 2 4G antennas. There is a SIM card option on the back of this stereo, so if you put a SIM card in it, you will have permanent internet connection through that connection. Couple of USB extension sockets there. These extend out the wires so you can get them to an accessible place from behind the stereo system, so you can use your CarPlay or Android Auto wired if you so wish. This system is also wireless for both of those. Also, you can plug extra storage and things like that into these. I think this supports up to 500 gigabytes of external hard drive storage. We've got a little bag of screws for mounting it, microphone for your hands-free, and the main power loom itself. This end plugs into the back of the stereo system, and this end here, this is the normal ISO connections. What you do find though is most vehicles do not have a plug that plugs into that, so make sure you get a fitting kit for your vehicle, and what that'll do is that'll convert whatever plug you've got in your vehicle, it'll convert it into the ISO standard, so you can plug that into there. What I'll do is I'll show you on my vehicle the one that I've got, and I'll show you the plug that we've got on my vehicle as well. So you get like a little adapter loom that adapts it into this. That's it for cables and things. It's pretty simple on this one. So let me move these out of the way and let's have a look at the stereo system itself. Right, in this little box here, I'm assuming we've got the stereo system. And like we said, this is your usual 2-DIN or double-DIN size. On the front, we've got the cable for the screen and the little 4 mounting points. We'll have a look at that in a minute. On the top, we've got a wiring diagram there that shows you how to wire it up if that's what you want. On the rear, we've got some more wires and connection sockets and things like that. Let's have a quick look what we've got. As you can see on the back, we've got 3 USBs. One of them can be used for things like this, the tyre pressure monitoring system. This can plug directly into the back, and then the other 2 can go out on those extension leads to things like phone, on the go, and things like that. This is the little SIM card socket that I was talking about. If you open this little bit up here, you can put a SIM card in there, and then you'll have permanent internet connectivity to this stereo system through 4G. Also on the back, these are your interface plugs for your cameras and amplifiers, all labelled up. You've got your 4G and your Wi-Fi SMA sockets there for your antennas, radio antenna there, video inputs for your cameras, subwoofer input, and some amplifier outs. And over this side, this is where your main plug goes for your power in. Let's have a look at the monitor. This big box here is our nice sized monitor. Let's pull this out. Also in this box, we get some instructions there for wiring the stereo system up and using it. Right, so here we have it, the screen. It's got a little protective cover on it at the minute. I'll pull that off once we've fitted the stereo system. There is a few things we notice straight away. One is how solid it feels. The screen is actually bonded to the case, you know, like your phone screen, so it feels really solid. There's no flex at all in this screen. The other thing I noticed straight away is how thin it is, look. That is incredibly thin screen. This is a 13.3-inch 1920 by 1080 display. On the back, we've got the ribbon cable plug there to get the power in, and as you can see there, look, we've got the little mounting clips, which they clip into those holes there on the corner to hold the screen in place. What you can do is you've got about 25 millimeters of movement up and down to adjust this screen. By removing those screws just there, you can move these up and down so you can get the height of the screen to whatever position you want. So once this is fitted, although you can't adjust the angle very much, it should be really nicely flushly fitted to your dashboard. So it should really look part of your system, just like that. And if you give it a bit of a tug, it clips out and clips in, look, with a nice solid clip. So that's not going to go. That's not going to go anywhere. But I do like how flush it is going to be. So we'll see how that looks once it's in. Right, let's go for a few specs of this system. It runs on Android 12. It's a Qualcomm 6125 8-core 64-bit processor. 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of internal storage, supports wired and wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth 5 for hands-free calling and Bluetooth music, built-in microphones in the front of the screen, and an additional external microphone as well. Supports external hard drives up to 500 GB of storage, and here it says the password for the settings is 8888. So we'll have a look if we need that later. I'm just looking through the instructions, and it actually looks like that front camera is not an optional extra, and it's a AR front camera apparently. So we'll have a look at that. Right, so I think what we should do now is let's take this system, let's take the one out of the vehicle, we'll fit this one in, so I'll see you out in the vehicle. Right, I'm just installing the stereo and I wanted to show you these plugs. Right, so I've got it ripped out there. What you can see is this plug here. This one is the original Peugeot plug. So what I've bought, I've got this fitting kit here. This converts this plug into these ISO standard plugs, like I said. This particular one has a CAN bus adapter on it here. These will give outputs like ignition live, reverse signal, and it'll also give outputs for your steering wheel controls. What they normally do is you have two wires there, key 1 and key 2, and then you can wire them up to the stereo system. This particular one, this has got the key 1 and key 2 and things like that, so I can wire it up that way if I want to, and then it'll maintain all of the steering wheel controls and things like that. Sometimes as well, as part of these fitting kits, you get the fascia kit as well, like this. So this will fit over this doubled-in stereo here, and then it's got some screws and things on the side that I can fasten it into place. They also come with other little adapters like this. Look, this is for my antenna. This particular stereo system needs this type of antenna plug to plug into the back of it, whereas my vehicle had like a little square one there. So these kits come with that. Right, I'm going to get this stereo system all plugged in. I'm going to install that AR front camera thing up here. Whilst I'm there, this optional extra of the tyre pressure monitoring system, I'll plug this into the back of the stereo as well, behind there. And the little valve adapter things, I'll put those on in the correct place, one on each wheel, so that should work as well. So I'll see you back in a second when all this is done and it's powered up. Right, that's it fitted. I'm currently on Apple CarPlay because I wanted to show you something, but look, that looks absolutely fantastic. I'm actually really pleased with that. It's worked out really well. I've had to lift the screen up just one notch on those little things on the back. Actually, I'll show you those in a minute. I did that just so I can get to that aircon button there. But I can see everything perfect, and how it's flush back to the dashboard, look, I think that looks really factory. I'm quite pleased with that, and the screen quality is really bright. Obviously these come in three sizes. I think it's 10.1 inch, a 13.3 like this one, and a 15 point something. I've got the middle one. Actually the 15 inch would have fitted in there as well nicely, but this is a vast improvement on the 10 inch screen that was in there before. If I sit back just a little bit, just so you can see how it looks across the whole dash, I think that fits in really nice. Right, I've left it on this CarPlay for one reason, because this is the first one I've ever had where I can leave it on this page here. Normally, if I want to use the navigation, I'm having to go into that, but this one, I don't have to go into the full navigation screen. I can leave it like that because this panel here is actually big enough to do and see what I need it to see as part of the navigation, and then I can still see all my music controls, best album in the world, and the next direction and things like that, all on this screen. Normally this panel is a little bit too small to actually see anything, and I normally have to go into the full screen navigation. But whilst we're in CarPlay, look, you can see how smooth and responsive it is there. It's quite nice, actually. Right, let's come out of CarPlay. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Obviously, I'm connected wirelessly as well to it. Well, I don't think we need to talk about CarPlay anymore. So if I go to exit, this brings us back to the home screen. So let me put this camera down and let's talk about some of the things that this does. Right, here we are. This is the first launcher page, the thing that you get to when you very first turn it on. One thing I did notice was how quick it turned on. Let me just grab this camera a second. If I just put this camera up there, my radio's turned on and off from this switch up here. So if I press this and turn it off, if I press it to turn it on again, it's literally on within about 2 seconds. You see how quick that was? Off, on. Within about 2 seconds, it's starting up. It did exactly that on the very first time I started it up as well. Right, as you can see, looking at the panel, we've got a few little panels here. This is a fixed panel that you can pick a quick start app. If I press in this little top corner there, look, you can pick an app that you want to sit in there. Quite a useful tile. So if you want radio, for example, you can click play and stop and things like that, and set it up for your music. The next panel along is, this one's like a live panel. This is super useful because you can have something that's actually doing something in here. You know, like on the Apple CarPlay that we just looked at with the navigation, you can have a live panel here. Down in this bottom left-hand corner, this little green button down there, if we press that, we can pick which app we want to have in there. And as you can see, there's some really good apps to pick from. So if we wanted maps, for example, so you can have a live maps in here. What you'd need for this, obviously, is you need an internet connection. I've actually got Wi-Fi in the vehicle, so if I turn Wi-Fi on. Sorry, I had to move locations. I'm back at home again now. I've closed these blinds because I've got the sun right in my eyes. Back to this panel look. I've changed it now into YouTube look, so we've got a little YouTube video playing on there just to show that it's actually a live panel. Super good, as I said before. You can pick various applications, so you can have whatever you want running in it. Obviously, if you're not using CarPlay or anything like that, Maps is a really good one to have in there, because then your navigation will run inside this panel. A bit of Norwegian Explorer on there on YouTube. Let me just change that back to something boring. Car speed, this just shows you a little speed that the car's going and things like that. Right, down the bottom, you've got some shortcuts to your favourite apps. Right over here, look, you can press add, and you can add any other app you want to be in there. And if you press and hold on one, you can change it into something else, look. Over this side, these here, they're your 3 most recently used apps. Down the left-hand side, you've got a home button, what you can see there. Next one down is your apps. There's plenty of apps already built into the system itself, but because we're on Android, we've got Play Store there, so you can go in there and you can download any other apps that you so wish. Whilst we're in these apps, let's have a look at a couple of things there. The first one here is AR camera. If we go into that, you can see there, I've got a camera fitted on the front, that AR camera. I think what AR means is automatically record. It's got a record button there. You can set it up in settings to auto record the front screen and auto record the rear screen and some other little bits and bobs as well. But as you can see there, look, please check whether the recording device is connected. What it needs is, it needs like a memory stick or something like that, plugging into the USB, so then you can record your media onto that. But this acts like a dash cam, so it's automatically recording what you can see there. And we've got the rear as well. This is not the camera that came with it. The quality of this camera is actually terrible compared to the one that comes with it, but this one is fitted into the rear brake light of my vehicle. The quality of the camera is not very good, to be honest, but it's the one that's already fitted in the vehicle, so I've used that. This front one is more like the quality of the cameras that you get. It looks a bit weird at the minute because it's got the sun directly shining onto the windscreen, but these are a good quality. And that's the same, obviously, if I put the ignition on, and put the vehicle in reverse, that'll also show our reversing camera, which is the same terrible quality one that I've got on the back. The camera that comes with it, as I said, is a lot better quality than that. It's a 1080 HD camera that comes with this system. This one here, CarSet, this one's an important one to some people. As I said, when you buy this system, you need to get an adapter plug that goes from your car vehicle to this system. For an extra fee, when you buy this system, you can speak to customer support. They will actually add the relevant loom and connection kit that you need between your vehicle and this system here. And then what that will do is that will allow you to have the CAN bus going into the back of this stereo system, and then CarSet there. In there, it says there is no original car information because I've not got it turned on at the minute. But what this will do is this can be set up so it retains all your original car settings. So if you've got aircon or folding mirrors or anything like that that normally shows up on your stereo, you can maintain that through this. What you need to do is go into settings, down at system, across at factory. That code there is 8888. Into it on OK, and there, look, change model. The customer support will help you pick the correct model for your vehicle. Like, for example, if I go in here, look, simple, PSA for Peugeot. We've got Boxer there, look. I can click confirm, click save. If I go back out now and go into the apps, CarSet, as you can see there, we've got trip info and all this sort of stuff. So you're retaining your vehicle settings. But to do this, you need the proper loom that goes between your vehicle and this stereo system here. So you're getting a CAN bus feed into the back of the stereo system. Speaking of CAN bus, back in here, look, in common settings, right down near the bottom, look, we've got keys and learn. If we go into key settings and then SWC, so steering wheel keys, There, look, you can see I've taught it some already. So that key 1 and key 2 wire that connects up from the CAN bus, what you can do is you can program these to your steering wheel. So as you can see, if I put my ignition on again, let's just go out of this. When I press up and down volume on my steering wheel, look, we're maintaining some functionality from the steering wheel there to whatever you program. One thing I did notice when I was playing around with that is looking at this stereo system, I thought, there's no buttons. How do you actually turn this thing up and down? It turns out there's some capacitive buttons along this bottom here. If I turn my headlights on, there you are, look, they suddenly appear. You've got volume up and down there, which you can press up and down. This is a home button, back button, and then this switches between various apps. What you can do is in settings, if I turn my lights off, you'll see those go off and this dulls up and down. In display, colourful lights there. That is these lights at the bottom. You've got there normally off, always on and auto. What you can do if you want is you press always on and then they appear, look. Down here, you can change the colour of those buttons to whatever you want them to be. My vehicle's kind of red, so I'll leave them red like that. But that makes it a bit more usable because obviously it's got these little buttons here. I prefer physical buttons over these capacitive ones. I'm a bit old school like that. But to be honest, these are in a good place because they're down at the bottom of the screen. A lot of car stereos, they put them up the left-hand side, and then it's a bit of a pain because I'm in a right-hand side drive vehicle, and you have to reach right across to the left, but being across the bottom, it makes them a lot more useful. Right, if we go into apps, let's have a quick look at sound effects. This has got a very extensive equalizer that you can do a lot of things with it, depending on how many speakers and things you've got all set up. You can set up a 5.1 surround sound, or depending on whatever sockets you've got plugged in. In the equalizer, you've got various ways that you can change the sound. This is the simplest way, which you can pick between different sound effects. Look, rock, soft, classical. You've got a load of different effects that you can pick from. If I press presets here, then you can go into different modes, which gives you a lot more functionality over it if that's what you want. In link channel there, look, what you see there is 16 different frequencies. But what this has actually got is it's got 3 pages worth of 16 frequencies. So as you can see there, look, you have got 48 separate frequency channels that you can set up however you want them to be to really dial this sound exactly how you want it to sound. You can save this as a profile as well, but just to really complicate things so you can really dial it in is on this button here, look, we've got front left, front right, rear left, rear right. So you can literally dial these in for every single speaker that you've got in the car. Just to show you even more, you've got individual channels, look. So you literally got front left, front right, rear left, rear right, center and sub. So this is every individual speaker. I have never seen such an extensive equalizer on any car stereo system. So if this is your thing, you can really play with this as much as you want. Down here we've got fade and balance. Down in mode we've got more sound effects that you can play around with. Bass boost, subwoofer settings. You can really go to town setting the sound up on this thing. We could literally do a video just talking about all this on its own. One thing I want to test out, let's test out the sound latency to make sure everything's synced up properly between the video and the sound. So let's click on this. As you can see there, it's perfectly synced. Let's go into full screen so you can see how massive that screen is. But there's no sound delay at all. That's nicely synced with the video. The quality of this screen is absolutely fantastic, and that looks really nice being that size as well. Really pleased with how this is looking. Because of the size of the screen, one more useful thing you can do is you've got a split screen there. So if I press and hold this app for a few seconds, it says split screen. we can choose another app to go on the other side, and then it splits the screen into two there. So we can carry on watching the YouTube video on this screen if that's what we want, and then we've still got other things going on this screen. So if you wanted your passenger sit watching a YouTube video there while you've got your navigation on in this half of the screen, for example, that is exactly what you can do. To get rid of the split screen, you literally just swipe it right across and then it goes back into single screen mode. In settings, system application, there's loads of things you can do to the look of it. We have got a theme look, so we can have a dark mode and enable that. I've got it on time control at the minute, so at night it'll automatically go to dark, but I do actually like dark modes all the time, to be honest. So if I put it in dark mode, it'll switch over to that dark mode there, and I do like the look of those. Also in these settings, there's loads more things that you can play around with. Like I mentioned earlier, down in system software version, one thing I do notice that I didn't know, I said it was Android 12, it's not. We're actually on Android 13, look. 8GB of memory, 128GB of storage, 1920 by 1080 screen, like I said. The only thing that's different to what it says on the website is the Android version, and this has got Android 13. It actually says Android 12 on their website. Back to the home screen, that dark mode looks kind of nice, doesn't it? Just noticed down here there's a little wallpaper. Let's have a look at that. Let's go for this little squiggly one over here and see what it puts it on. Oh, that's putting it on everything, look. If we go back to the home screen, it's transposed that onto here, so it looks kind of nice there. Oh, almost forgot the radio. If we go into the radio there, as you can see there, I've already set up the first channel. We've got BBC Radio 1. It does say it a little bit smaller. It says it down here rather than a big writing up there. If I press and hold, that'll scan and find the next channel. There you are, look, it's found Classic FM. And like usual, when you're on a channel that you want to save, just press and hold the relevant number, and then it'll save that channel there into your like favourites. Usual kind of radio things, all your local and your auto frequency and things like that, all the usual radio settings. Not very often I actually listen to radios in vehicles, but it's got it and it's got everything you need and it sounds good. If you swipe down from the top, you get into quick settings there, so you can change the brightness on the screen quickly, the volume quickly, and log on to internet and stuff like that. And as you can see there, Netflix looks great on this screen as well. And another thing I've just noticed is when you press the home button, it goes like to a little mini screen down there, look, so you can carry on watching your film while things are going on here over here. So your passenger can help themselves to a nice Netflix film as well while you're doing your thing. Look at that, I've set up that little panel as the tyre pressure monitoring system. That's really useful. Right, so I think that's all I need to show you. The screen is really nice quality. I'm really pleased with that, especially how flush it sits to the dashboard. And with it being a bonded screen as well, it really adds to the quality of it. So what I'll do is I'll put some links down below where you can check this out for yourself. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but like anything else, you get what you pay for. If I've got any discount codes or anything like that, I'll also put those down in the description so you can save yourself a few quid. I've got a few more stereo systems that I need to try in this camper van yet, but I'll definitely think about putting this one back in. There's plenty more to do on the camper van, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more on either the camper or these stereo systems and things like that. Comment below anything you want to say. I do like reading all your comments. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you again in another video. Cheers.